Good morning, everybody. How's it going? You see my signs here? Okay, one sign, one coffee cup. How's it going? I'm Michelle. I don't know if you know this. My name is Michelle. Anyway, good morning. Happy weekend. Another day, another dollar. How's it going? Fully fenced over here. And for some reason, I feel like I have a little bit more privacy. It's not my fence, but I feel like a little bit kind of just like uh, at ease from the privacy fence is what I'm gonna call this new fence. Um, anyway, good morning. It's around 6:45 a.m. here in San Antonio, Texas. So I haven't talked to y'all in a while since July 4th. So I don't have really much political to say, like for real this time. I try to think of some politics that I could say, just bring to the discussion, into the conversation that is the internet, and so on and so forth. But I really couldn't think of anything to have as a topic of discussion. Just been chilling at home. Tracy goes to work at Michael's this morning and tomorrow afternoon. I'll probably make my tarot card video tomorrow afternoon, as to not have a noisy, disrupted morning tarot card video. My plans: painting, reading, drawing. My mom commented on my poetry. You've been writing some poems. Yesterday we went to Stone Oak. That's what we call that little shopping center area. It's I guess an outlet mall. I guess it's the technical term. And it's kind of far away from us, but Tracy likes to go there. Oh, it has In-N-Out. It's an outlet mall, and there's an In-N-Out there. I don't know if you know this. There's not many In-N-Outs in Texas, but there is one over there in San Antonio. I think it's like North San Antonio or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like a 15-20 minute drive away on the highways, not back roads. Anyway, we're shopping there. Went to Home Goods, which is usually nothing against the store, but every time I go to Home Goods I feel quite bombarded, and that's just what happens every time. But my mom was like, "I seen you've been writing poetry when we're at Home Goods." I said, "Yeah, instead of posting an excerpt from a book, I decided to do that." So that's a compliment my mom gave me. If it were a different time, I'm sure she would have expanded on it, but right now I'll take it. Thanks for noticing and bringing it up over here at Home Goods, Mother. Anyway, I'm obsessed with goldfish right now. Well, like all the fish. If you're wondering where all those animal photos are from Petco or PetSmart, one of the two, in that Stone Oak outlet mall. Obsessed with goldfish right now. These are so cool. Um, what else? Yeah, not much going on, I guess, as far as a topic of discussion for a political conversation. I guess just what's been happening this week is, of course, the Texas flooding. Um, don't forget the frame. Okay. Um, which I guess was primarily around the hill country of San Antonio area. If you don't know, Texas has technically you can classify a lot of areas of Texas as hill country. Um, but it looks like the primary of the devastating floods was the hill country around San Antonio, if I'm not mistaken. The president and first lady visited that area yesterday. I made a comment on Twitter. I was hearing a lot about politicizing it. Which I think is interesting as far as, again, to appear to be a divide between Democrats and Republicans. Maybe a hornet, one of the two. Which is why I made one comment about it. But, California's had a lot of stuff going on. As far as the wildfires, displacement, and stuff like that. And I noticed a lot of the times it gets down to a conversation about money and about funding, right? Which, I haven't seen a Super Bowl commercial about any of all that. So obviously there's money there, right? As far as I guess the delegation of money, I guess that's why it gets political, right? But I don't know. I guess I was just kind of it's a bit upsetting, I guess, to see how quickly the political divide is there. And one could argue a distraction to the actual problems that are present. Extreme amount of flooding, obviously, I guess evacuations. As far as warnings, I saw that there wasn't adequate warnings of the flooding. I guess there should have been evacuations if for some reason, I don't know the facts. All I know is there's devastating floods and like over 100 people are deceased and over 100 are still missing. I know the San Antonio Zoo, yesterday when I was on Home Goods, scrolling through Instagram, I saw the San Antonio Zoo posted that they were helping that area as far as animal life. Hey, that's great. What a good look. But yeah, I don't know. I think people just question a lot as far as you're willing to voice a lot of this stuff when it's a Republican state and a Democrat state, California no less. Obviously, there's a lot of natural disasters going on over there. So I think that was the one comment on Twitter I made. Yeah. Saw that couple articles about the reports of that Air India crash. Apparently the engine shut off, and it was like the crash was right after takeoff. I think over 200 people were killed in that plane. Air India. So I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. 1 second. One thing that I haven't heard though is this: a lot of the times when there's not a sort of emergency going on, there's a lot of talk about rural hospitals. I haven't really heard much talk about that. The only thing I've heard about is FEMA. Which I guess a part of what FEMA does is kind of acts as like an insurance company a bit, right? So obviously the funding of FEMA, that's I don't think that has changed. Was it a 75% reimbursement or something like that? I think what happened in the Midwest, was it tornadoes or something? It was like $200, correct me if I'm wrong. So as far as talks of FEMA, I guess insurance, right, would be a topic of conversation. Yeah, I guess I just get upset about this automatic political divide. And obviously when these emergency situations happen, whether it's natural disaster, whether it's, I guess mostly from natural disaster, right? The flooding recently. There was Uvalde, that's not a natural disaster. But yeah, this automatic political divide, I think, is very much not helpful. And obviously I think people are tired of it, myself included. But there's Christina Williams going on Fox and Friends, talking about fake news. So. Talk about worthless, right? At least her Twitter feed. Speaking of which, I saw that Elon Musk followed Justin Bieber. I said, this is so stupid. Did he buy a Tesla? What's going on? He'll barely get a consultation with Caroline Levitt, but he's following Justin Bieber? That's not odd. Anyway. Yeah, as far as the Diddy scandal, I think, I don't know the exact charges that were brought against him. As far as some of the victims, I think Cassie participated to help with whatever charges they were. I don't think her herself as an individual brought any charges. I think as far as the climate right now, at least in the United States. I think people might have been a bit disappointed with the outcome, but I can't really speak. I'm going to have to wait for a Mile Higher podcast episode so I can be filled in on all the details. I'm not really sure what exactly where the charge is, and I know one was dropped like after the process of the trial happened or something. But yeah, I think people were, I don't know who was paying attention, but I think maybe people were a bit kind of just disappointed with the outcome, myself included. All the things that's been going on. I guess I think it was prostitution, transporting prostitution, which I don't know, is making people, allegedly, making people take drugs and participate in sexual acts. Seems a little bit more than transport of prostitution or something like that. Allegedly. I don't want to get sued by Diddy, his team. But yeah, I think Justin Bieber has a new song, and Elon Musk started following him on Twitter. And then yeah, I guess that's that. It's been a rainy couple days, so I should have put my socks on. The mosquitoes are kind of biting my feet, so if you see me moving around, I'm getting bit by mosquitoes on my feet. Should have put socks on. But it's not too hot out here. It's cool, 77 degrees last time I checked. So yeah, I guess not much politics going on. I guess just the natural disasters and the response of, as far as FEMA and insurance and all that. I'm not sure about funeral expenses. Again, just as far as topics of discussion, I think people are getting upset, and there's a lot of automatically, whether it's purposefully or not, over 100 people dying is obviously upsetting, and how people deal with that, it could be an unconscious, subconscious kind of thing going on, but as far as going automatically with the Democrat and Republican political divide, I would advise against that, because it just is a lot of anger. If you want to discuss and want to talk about things, my suggestion would probably be, again, this United States government acting as a insurance company, I guess with FEMA, as by FEMA. I know there was like the National Guard, and I think the Coast Guard was in the Texas flooding hill country. And yeah, I think maybe that would probably be the better way to go than automatically blaming the political divide. And I thought it was interesting, the one comment that I saw, it was MAGA as a whole and not a specific person, like the governor or the senators or whatever, Texas legislation. Texas is an oil and gas state, so as far as finances and money concerns are, you would think Texas legislation would also be at the forefront there too. Um, but yeah, I just think that would probably be a better way to go than condemning MAGA voters, supporters as a whole. Is what I was kind of upset about. And this capitalizing, if you're like a Democrat representative or senator, capitalizing on what's going on right now. So, well, I hope you were that vocal when stuff was happening to your state. Otherwise, my advice would be is that would be a bad look. But anyway, July 12th, the Butler, Pennsylvania anniversary is tomorrow. So I think it's either the 11th or the 12th today. I don't know. So obviously that's interesting. Very interesting as far as Pam Bondi and Noeem. Not very much too vocal about that. But I'm sure it's probably a conversation, has been a conversation, topic of discussion. Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, I guess that's that. I can't wait to be with my husband. But until then, I guess it's the same old, right? Another day, another dollar. Yeah. Okay. Nice chit-chatting. Good morning chit-chat. Guess I'll talk to you later. Y'all have a good one. Wish me and my husband luck, okay?